This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa. This is the University of Tampa. UT students travel from across the nation and around the globe to join a dynamic learning community. There are 150 academic programs, continuing studies for non-traditional students, and a highly ranked graduate school. The UT experience begins with an innovative first-year program and continues with opportunities to challenge yourself in the honors program, to study abroad, to conduct research with faculty, to do an internship, to volunteer in the community, or to participate in multiple leadership programs. Explore your dreams, discover your talents, get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa. This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams, discover your talents, get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
Welcome to the Namoli Family Stadium, where the Tampa Spartans are set to take on the Florida Tech Panthers. I'm Bruce Wozniak, joined by Brandon Davis, as the 26-2 Spartans play host to the Florida Tech Panthers in a 89-degree Thursday evening game.
Yeah, and it doesn't even feel like 89 degrees out. It's a nice breeze. The sunset's coming down. It feels great. It's a great day to play softball, Bruce. Great day. We have some stats here on the last game for the Tampa Spartans. Actually, they had a last game series with the Rollins Tars, swept them clean, scoring a total of 25 runs and only conceding 6 runs on their other end. Beautiful, beautiful standing for them to remain second in the nation. Also for the Florida Tech Panthers, now for them, they lost their last 8 of the last 11 games. Their away record right now, since they're on the road for the Tampa Spartans, is 2-9. So they really haven't had the best season, I would say, so far. But they are optimistic for this new opportunity, this new game series against the Tampa Spartans. Number 2 ranked is a good opportunity for them to get back on the board and above 500 level.
And for the Spartans, the starting pitcher is Mariah Galhouse. She comes into this game with a 9-2 one-loss record. Leads the staff with 67 2/3 innings pitched and a very impressive 1.55 ERA.
Wow.
She is obviously the ace of the staff, Mariah Galhouse.
Without said, Bruce. It just leaves you speechless sometimes because statistics like that go unheard of nowadays.
And to start things off for Florida Tech, the left fielder Ella Niles. And the first pitch to Niles, she showed bunt, and that is ball 1. Niles hitting an impressive .340 on the season, and the 1-0 on the way to her fouls that one off.
So she's hitting .340, but the Panthers average a batting average of .285. Total RBIs in the season is 129. They have a total of 9 home runs. On-base percentage is .342, and the slugging percentage entirely is .365.
To third and over to first in plenty of time for out number 1, and that's an important out because Niles will run. She is 21 for 22 in stolen base attempts this season, so an important way for UT to start off this game defensively.
Well, I'm sure Coach Leslie Cantor has definitely debriefed the team when it came to the potential radar opponent players when it came to the Florida Tech Panthers.
First pitch on the way to Lena Pollock, the Panthers shortstop. And the 0-1 to her. That one's outside, 1-1. Just underway here at the Namoli Family Stadium, and a lot of young, very young softball players here watching this game in person. As you see, strike 2 there.
Yes, we see a lot of guest attendance here now. I think Florida Southern's only 40 minutes away from Tampa, right? I believe so, right? Oh, Florida Tech, excuse me. I thought it was
a bouncer, and Galhouse will field that one easily over to DeSimone for out number 2. And the Spartans, I know this is going to be the broadcaster's curse, as they call it, but unbeaten here at home so far this season.
Yeah, they have, I believe, a 14-0 record, and it's very impressive, very impressive. But we'll see if they can continue it in the course of the season.
And you see strike 1 there. The batter now is Cheyenne Nelson, the Florida Tech center fielder. The 0-1 to her. Looked like she wanted to bunt as well, and all of a sudden behind in the count, 0-2. Mariah Galhouse, very efficient so far to start this game. Foul ball. Galhouse, you might as well say her swan song, her senior season here at UT. And the 0-2 to Balmer at short. She bobbles it. And so Nelson will reach on an error. And what looked like it was going to be 3 up and 3 down.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened on that play. We do see the sun is setting around the corner of the left side, so it might have gotten in her face maybe. I don't want to speculate, but as the game progresses, we'll see better play and better execution from the Spartan infield.
And so this brings up the number 4 hitter for the Panthers, catcher Jolie Miracle, from right here in Tampa. Quickly behind in the count, 0-2. Swings and misses, and so Galehouse records the strikeout to end the inning. For the Panthers, no runs on no hits. There was 1 Spartan error and 1 runner left on base. And we will be back with the bottom of the first right after this on TampaSpartans.tv. Back live at the Namoli Family Stadium as the Spartans get ready to hit in the bottom of the first.
And as the Spartans get to the batter's box right now, we have some statistics for the Spartans here so far in the course of the season. 351 batting average, 181 RBIs, 16 home runs so far. An on-base percentage of 422, an impressive slugging percentage of 519.
Lauren Fantone, the leadoff hitter, as always, for UT. The 1-0 on the way to her. And that'll be ball 2. Starting pitcher for Florida Tech is Allison Platten, a grad student. Hails from Bolingbrook, Illinois. And here's her 2-0. And strike 1 to Fantone. And the 2-1 on the way. And count goes even. Two. And Fantone stays alive, count full. Three-two on the way from Platten. And Fantone will get aboard with a game-opening base on balls.
Good eye by Lauren Fantone. There were 2 inside pitches right to the inside corner. She did not fall for the bait. Nevertheless, she is on first base, and it's a good opportunity for the Tampa Spartans to get things going.
And I think it would be fair to call Allison Platten the ace of the Panthers staff, a 10-4 one-loss record. As you see the bunt that is caught for out number 1. And so Lily Keister is retired. Allison Platten with a 2.56 earned run average.
So Gale House on the season batting at 385.
And Gale House looks at strike one. Swings and fouls that one foul down the right field line.
And we know Gale House is very versatile, whether it's the offensive end or the defensive end. But she actually leads the team in RBIs with 31. So it's very impressive for her to maintain this consistent play, having to play both sides of the ball.
And there you see ball one. Just to finish up on Platten, she does lead the staff in innings pitched with 93. And she gets the start here against UT, this first game of a 3-game set. And Gale House will reach base with a single to right field. And so with only one down in the bottom of the first, the Spartans with runners on first and second.
Bruce, that's her 31st hit of the season. That also leads the Spartans.
Cameron Weininger hitting out of the number 4 spot for the Spartans. Fouls off the first pitch that she sees.
And be mindful, you said that Platten is an all-star pitcher, but I have a feeling, and I don't want to have the broadcaster curse, whatever it's called, but this Tampa Spartans lineup can definitely give you a run for the money and give, a lot of pitch count out of the pitcher. So we'll see if Platten can hold down these Spartans players early, or will it not fall in her favor?
Count is 1-1 here to Weininger. And strike two to the Spartans' second base player. And that one's low and in the dirt. Count will go even at 2-2.
So we have a timeout. I believe the umpire is telling the dugout to just get into the dugout more, as it could be a potential interference into the gameplay. But he resumes the game. Don't think it was that big of a deal though.
The 2-2. Ooh.
So I almost clipped her elbow.
Yeah. Weininger felt the breeze of the ball going by. It was that close to her. The count full. And pops it up, and shallow right field caught for out number 2, and they go to third, not successfully. How about at second? Everybody's safe.
Even though she was unfortunate on that scene, but what a great throw from the right fielder. Almost got that down. But going back to the last at bat, I did have the liberty to commentate the baseball team last weekend with Jack, and it was a scary pitch with E.J. Doska at the plate, and actually the ball hit his eye socket. And I thought it would hit his arm, but it actually hit his eye socket. And now he's in immediate surgery. He got it surgically paired up, but we don't know his return because it's going to be indefinite. But with pitches like that, you have to be very, very mindful of where your position is, where the ball is. So it's always a scary scene, but this is sports, right?
This is the Spartans' third base player, Alexa Russo. 2 away here in the bottom of the first. Runners on second and third. The 1-0. And she will take that one for ball 2. And to that point, Brandon, we do see a good number of pitchers that come through here and will wear the protective face gear in the pitching circle. And that one's going to be outside for ball 3.
Yeah, not even that. But the funny thing was, he actually had to protect her. on his helmet, but it still went through. I've never seen in that bat a pitch like that ever happen in my life. It was very scary to see, but we all wish him well, and we all wish every player would have plays the sport.
That one right down Main Street for strike one. And so Platten battling here with Alexa Russo. I was going to say an opportunity for the Spartans to load the bases, but can certainly do some damage on the scoreboard if Russo, well, she's going to walk. And so indeed, bases loaded now.
Yeah, it's not really common for Russo to walk. She actually has one of the least amount of walks for the team roster. And you see that with bases loaded now, I believe the pitching coach is coming out to talk to the pitcher to see what's going on, because this could potentially be a bad run for the Panthers. This is the point I even mentioned a couple minutes ago, Bruce, about the pitch count going up. The Tampa Spartans, especially the top of the lineup, they're very, very volatile when it comes to pouncing on their opponents game by game. Whether it's the game 1 of the series or game 3, they're going to get it done. They're going to get it done at a fast rate.
Yeah, you mentioned before about how potent the Spartans' offense is, and all of a sudden you load the bases, and Avery Perkins is up to bat, and Perkins is hitting .411 in 21 games this season. She has 2 triples. She has 12 RBI. So it, for all intents and purposes, goes from bad to worse for the Panthers, although if you're doing glass half full, glass half empty, the glass half full part is that they just need one out to finish the inning, and they'd love to see the Spartans have the bases loaded and strand all 3 runners. And let's see what happens in this showdown between Platten and Avery Perkins. Starts off with strike one. And here comes the 0-1. Swung on and missed. Perkins, that swing, it looked like she was swinging for the fences, as they say, and don't really need to hit a home run. I mean, it's not a friendly ballpark for home runs to begin with.
Look at the way the infield is shifted, though. She's a lefty. She could just wait on it and hit it right in the gap. But it looks like she's trying to slap hit it right now. I don't think, and I'm not the coach, but I would like to see a liner up the middle to potentially bring in 2 runs instead of a slap hit that could lead to the end of the inning.
And that one's outside. Count goes even, 2-2. Yeah, the shortstop was cheating a little bit and might be just enough, as you mentioned, to leave a big enough gap if Perkins were to put this one directly over second base. And finds that exact hole, and the Spartans will get 2 runs across. And so Avery Perkins making me look good.
I broke the curse. I broke the curse, Bruce.
Gives her team a first inning 2-0 lead. And so runners on first and second with 2 outs, but now 2 up on the board for the home team.
It's an excellent analysis by Mackenzie Allen. You know, during that timeout when the pitching coach came in, you know, it was a good amount of time for Leslie Kansas to talk to her batter about what to do on that particular play. And it worked out in their favor.
And this is Lexi Chevalier, Spartans catcher. And that was ball 1 to her. So Avery Perkins brings the game's first 2 runs across with a single over the second base bag, which Alexa Russo currently occupies as the other base runner. And now the 1-1 to Chevalier. Pops it up and out of play. And so Chevalier will stay alive. And the Spartans, Brandon, I think we've seen a lot of early inning offense from them this season. And they're doing it again here tonight.
Yeah. It's just a matter about consistency. That's what's going to lead to success.
That one misses outside for ball 2. Platten winds, delivers, and Chevalier fouls it back to the screen. And Platten already with a pitch count north of 30 for this first inning. Here's the 2-2, and Chevalier gets under it, and will it drop in time? Well, it's dropped in the outfield, and Chevalier doubles in both of the runners, and it's a 4-0 Spartans lead, and an unfortunate play there in the outfield could have ended the inning.
I tell you, it's that sunlight again, but shortly enough, it will be able to sunset, and I would say about 20 minutes, so we'll see with that. But in a split second, you put your head down, and boom, you put your head up, the Spartans are up 4. It's amazing.
And you see the Panthers having a conference out in the pitching circle. And interestingly, it's just their players. You don't see their coach out there, so the players, I think, are trying to regroup on their own and kind of rally each other.
I don't think it was necessary for the coach to come in. I think the coach already instilled the mentality into the players just to get through this inning, and then we'll see and we'll delegate with things to go in the next coming innings. So it's just a matter about support and just trying to get through this inning.
And we're to the number 8 hitter, Kate DeSimone, the Spartans' first base player. Strike one to her. DeSimone hitting .340 this season. And now the 0-1 on the way, and that's outside for ball 1. Kate DeSimone, who we do see pitch from time to time, playing first base in this game. And now the 1-1 to her, and finds the gap just beyond the first base player's glove. And the Spartans just continue to add to their lead as Lexi Chevalier comes all the way around to score, and it makes it 5-0.
Yeah, that was a bad job of the first baseman. That she wasn't able to capitalize on that one, and she actually cut off the cutoff throw from outfield, so which it could have allowed the runner not to come, but she wasn't aware of what was going on, so nevertheless they concede another run.
So UT all the way through the order here in the first inning, as we're at the number 9 hitter, Steph Ballmer, the Spartans shortstop. So DeSimone on first, as that one's up high for ball 1. And 1-1 on the way from Platten, and Ballmer shows bunt and lays it down in such a way that there was no one there for the pitcher to throw it to, and so Ballmer gets on base, and we're going to go all the way back to the leadoff hitter again.
Wow,
10th batter of this inning.
I don't know what the dysfunction is in the infield, but they need to correct it because you're already almost 3 runs away from a mercy rule, but we're not even in the 5th inning yet, so it can get bad real quickly when you versus Tampa Spartans.
Lauren Fantone, you'll recall, started this whole thing with a walk. And she comes up to the plate this time in the same inning, but with runners on first and second. Ballmer at first and DeSimone at second. And the count goes to 1-1. And Fantone, that's going to be caught. A well-struck ball caught out there in right field by Ella Gibson. And for the Spartans, wow, 5 runs on 5 hits. And an inning, and the home team in a big lead, 5-0. Back with the top of the second, coming up on TampaSpartans.tv. Back live, and the Spartans a big bottom of the first inning, a 5-0 lead. And now we'll start off the top of the second, and the Panthers certainly have their work cut out for them, as it's Michaela Lewin, the Florida Tech third base player, leading off here the top of the second. And that foul makes it 0-2.
Lewin on the season, 297, a total of 118 at-bats, 35 hits, 2 home runs, but 30 RBIs. That actually leads the team, though. They have a total of 148.
And that one's outside for ball 1. And chops it back to Galehouse, over to DeSimone for out number 1. Michaela Lewin, by the way, as she heads back to the dugout, safe to say that she is player that's furthest from home today. Hails from Lower Hutt, New Zealand.
Wow, okay. Wow.
And someone else has traveled quite a ways to play softball here in the Sunshine State. Current batter, right fielder Ella Gibson, who is from San Francisco. Opposite side of the country, playing her college softball on the east coast of Florida, over at Florida Tech.
It just goes to tell you how internationally influential baseball and softball has become.
And that one just stays in the strike zone for strike 2. From our vantage point up here, it looked like it could have gone either way. We are slightly off center. And the home plate umpire, Taylor Coinwaye, there to deem that one having been a strike, as the count now even at 2-2. Gibson swings and misses, and Chevalier tags her, throws it to first. 2 outs for the Panthers. And Maya Ogbadewo, first pitch that she sees from Galehouse is the first hit of the game for Florida Tech.
Well, you know, her defensive outing was definitely disappointing on her end. So she was definitely trying to get the opportunity, just have a redemption opportunity, and get things going for her team as they're down by 5.
And this is the designated player, Miranda Schwartz. A local player for all intents and purposes from Lutz. 2-0 to her. The number 8 hitter in the Panthers batting order. And looks at strike one. And that one to deep. Oh, missed.
Can they get them at third? Yes, she is out. What a throw.
Wow. Some excitement there.
What a throw by Waninger to get the out, to close out the inning. It didn't look like she was going to make it, but nevertheless, they got the ball in time to close out the inning, Bruce.
And
great execution by the Spartans.
Hit to right center field in such a way that that's one of the longer balls that we've seen hit in quite some time, but Spartans able to get out of it without giving up a run, and they continue to lead 5-0. We'll be back with the bottom of the second right here on TampaSpartans.tv.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision.
Back here at the Namoli Family Stadium, Lily Keister, the Spartans center fielder, to lead things off here in the bottom of the second, and she was involved in that play that we just saw defensively.
Yeah, she was the one that was diving. Luckily, she was not hurt on that play, but they got the ball, they recovered it real quick, and they got that out at third. Wow, what a play. That is a top 10 play there, Bruce. You do not see that usually. So for the Tampa Spartans to remain in sequence, to get the ball in, it just goes to tell you how elite they are.
Keister was out in the first inning by way of a pop out to third. And now sends a foul down the third base line. The count is 1-2 to Lily Keister. And Allison Platten, her pitch count already over 40.
Pitch count over 40. Like I said, Bruce, it's gonna get more and more as the innings go forth. But we'll see if there will be a potential pitching change. We don't know. Maybe if the lead stays at put, and she might stay at put. We'll see.
Yeah, and of course, the Panthers coach, Val Silvestrini, has to be mindful of the fact that there's a doubleheader here tomorrow.
Exactly.
So she's probably wanting to save arms for those two games.
Doubleheader, 2 p.m. Same teams playing here on TampaSpartans.tv. Be sure to tune in with Bruce and Taylor Stolzworthy, who will be at the helm. 2 p.m.
Swing and a miss. And Keister goes down on the first strikeout of the game for Allison Platten. And
I believe that was the first strikeout for the Panthers for Platten. So it's
Gail House, who singled in the first to right field.
No, I can't hear.
And strike one to her. Allison Platten looking into home plate for the sign from catcher Jolie Miracle and delivers the 1-1, fouled back to the screen by Mariah Gelhaus. The 1-2, and in the dirt, Gelhaus stays alive. Cameron Weininger waiting in the on-deck circle. And in the meantime, here's the 2-2 to Gelhaus, and that's outside. Count goes full. And Platten might have lost a little bit of control on that one. It started outside and it never came back in. Swung on by Gelhaus, deep left field, all the way back to the fence, and caught out there for what looks like a routine flyout. But wow, all the way to the warning track went Ella Niles. And so Gelhaus gives it a good ride, but it's out number 2 here in the bottom of the second. And so the one that we saw the great defensive play by UT in right center field, and now that one by Gelhaus. 2 very deep balls. And as we said, what is not a home run friendly ballpark.
It is not. It is not. And we do have a new windscreen, Bruce, but I wouldn't say that is a factor into this play. But I would say Ella Niles did have a better jump to that ball. It did not seem that it was going to go over the fence, so I think she had a better jump to that one. Whereas in center field, though, when Lily Kieser had that dive, it was more unpredictable in my opinion. But what are your thoughts?
I'd like to think that in most other ballparks, both of those would have been home runs.
Yeah, maybe.
And here's the 1-1. And Weininger will be out. So a far cry from what we saw in the bottom of the first, as the Spartans are done batting in the bottom of the second and continue to lead at 5-0. We'll be back with the top of the third after this on TampaSpartans.tv.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
And we're back, ready to start the top of the third inning. And as Brandon mentioned, this is the first of a 3-game series with the teams scheduled to face each other in a doubleheader tomorrow that starts at 2 o'clock. And right now, game 1 of the 3-game series is 5-0 in favor of the home team. The Spartans putting up all 5 runs in the bottom of the first. And Mariah Gelhaus, the Spartans' starting pitcher in this game, has only thrown 28 pitches through the first 2 innings. And she faces Kelly McLaughlin, the Panthers' second base player, starting off this top of the third inning.
McLaughlin, 266, 12 RBIs in the season, 4 doubles.
And bounces that one to short. Balmer over in time for out number 1. I'll tell you what, though, good running there by McLaughlin. Mm-hmm. That really had to be quick out of the glove of Balmer to get her over at first.
And just a quick announcement, it is National Student Athlete Day I just want to wish everyone who's a student athlete across the East Coast, the West Coast, around the world, I wish you very well and continue with your successful endeavors.
And the student athlete in the batter's box for Florida Tech is left fielder Ella Niles. She grounded out to third in the first inning. There's a bouncer, and Balmer bobbles that one. And unfortunately for Steph, that's her second error of the game already.
Another one on E6 on for her, and I know she's definitely beating herself up, but she will have more opportunities to redeem herself. The Spartans are in a good position. They're very, very renowned with the infield. It's something that, you know, they practice a lot in practice, so I know she's very hard on herself, but she should not worry in the future.
And this is the shortstop, Lena Pollock, who grounded out to Galehouse in the first inning. And strike one to her.
Let's see if Chevalier has a good jump against Niles. Niles is signaling she's going to go to second. Let's see Chevalier, who is known to have a good throw to second. See on that check one right there.
Yeah, you're right. Niles is really leaning on that one.
Mm-hmm. But surprisingly, Weininger had to cover late. D. Simone was playing too shallow. She couldn't cover.
And we did talk earlier about Niles, 21 for 22 in stolen base attempts this season. And with your team down 5, and it might only be the top of the third inning, but it's the top of the third inning. This would be the time to send her.
And runner goes. So Weininger hesitates and doesn't throw to get the fielder's choice on that one. I don't know what happened. Niles actually paused. She actually had initiation. She ran. She tried to steal the base. She paused, and then I honestly don't know what happened on that one. But Weininger hesitated. Niles hesitated. It was just an awkward scene of events. But nevertheless, we have the second out.
We have to wonder if that hesitation by Niles
configured with her mind. Yeah,
mentally kind of played with Weininger's what otherwise would be a natural reaction, just kind of muscle memory to throw to first and say, what is this base runner doing? And Weininger, wow, great play.
She's out on that one, wow. So an unintentional step on the bag just to field the ball leads to the end of the inning.
Well, I think that's a case of, hey, I want to get on the highlight reel, just like the throw that came in from third to third base from right center field. And so we'll put that one on the highlight reel also. It spells the end of the inning for the Panthers, and the score remains 5-0 in favor of UT, and we'll be back with more softball on TampaSpartans.tv. Back live here in the bottom of the third. Spartans holding a 5-0 lead. And it's third base player Alexa Russo. And Brandon, you mentioned last time when she was up to bat in the first inning that she drew a base on balls, which is something that we don't see real often.
Usually she's the she's the person who usually gets the runs in for the team. She's the cleanup hitter, so we'll see if she there's a deep fly ball to center field, but she will get the out. But yeah, she usually gets a lot of runs for the team. Top 5 in RBIs.
Cheyenne Nelson with the put out in, let's call it, left center field on that long fly ball. That's what we're used to seeing from Alexa Russo, and not a base on balls. Regardless, one down for UT in the bottom of the third, and that'll bring up Avery Perkins. And that one goes up into the netting over the seating area. Avery Perkins, the designated player, had a 2 RBI single in the first inning. And the 0-1 to her. Perkins looking like she's going for a slap hit. Count 1-1. And nice routine out, but fielded very cleanly there by Kelly McLaughlin. And over to first for out number 2. So the Spartans quickly with 2 up and 2 down as Lexi Chevalier comes to the plate trying to keep this inning alive for UT. Chevalier had a 2 RBI double in the first inning.
Bruce, believe it or not, that was her 41st double of the season. Wow, impressive.
You saw the first pitch to her up high for ball 1. Next offering from Platten, and that one goes foul.
And the funny thing is, none of the Tampa Spartans, nobody else is even in double digits vicinity of Leslie Chevalier. It's incredible.
And just like the last one, and that's 3 up and 3 down for UT. So through 3 complete, UT continues to lead at 5-0. More softball on the way after this break on TampaSpartans.tv. And we're back, getting ready to start the top of the 4th inning.
So it was the technical difficulty on that one. I actually read the statistic wrong. So the Tampa Spartans have a total lead in doubles of 41 as of today. And Leslie Chevalier had her 8th one, so I was partially right on that one. She does lead the team in doubles, but she does not have 40. She has 8.
Catcher Jolie Miracle, and Balmer dives
What a dive from Steph Ballmer. You got to commend her on the effort. I know she's a little bit shaken up on that one, and she did have 2 previous evers as classified as an E6. But look at the way she's playing right now, offensively and defensively. I know she's a little bit shaken up. You have to commend her.
Yeah, and in fact, the umpire coming all the way out from behind home plate to check on her. And Ballmer did look like that one.
Well, you know the saying, Bruce. If the jersey isn't dirty, they're not working. It's hard work at best. And Steph Ballmer, along with the majority of the infield, they are doing so. And it's definitely prevalent with this record that they have on this lead that they have right now.
And to Ballmer once again, steps on second over to first in time, double play. And will that redeem both of the errors?
Yep, I would say so. That 5-3 double play redeemed the two E6s, so yeah.
So just like that, 2 down for Florida Tech here in the top of the 4th. And fouled off from the bat of Ella Gibson, the Panthers' right fielder. She struck out in the 2nd inning.
Bruce, what are your thoughts about having Alexa Russo at third and swapping, having Weininger at second? What are your thoughts about that? Instead of having Weininger at third and having Alexa Russo at second.
Yeah, Russo, we're used to seeing her at second base. And obviously Leslie Cantor sees the game a lot different than we do and has her reasons. And you do have to wonder at the same time, about experience in terms of utility play and being able to move players around. Alexa Russo is only a sophomore. They may want to be able to move her around the infield as the need dictates it. Count goes even at 2-2. So 2-2, 2 outs, and stays alive as the count goes full. Ella Gibson trying to keep the inning alive for the Panthers. And Ballmer's going to go right over her head. And Gibson does keep the inning alive with a single. So Obadewo to the plate for Florida Tech. And her last at-bat, it only took 1 pitch for her to get on base. And swings and misses as Galehouse fools her with that one.
I think she knew that she was fooled mid-swing. It was kind of like an effortless swing on that one.
0-2 now. And the Panthers need to start generating some offense. They don't want to waste the base runner that they have in Ella Gibson at first. And that's going to be out number 3. And so Gibson's single goes for naught. Spartans continue to lead courtesy of that 5-run bottom of the 1st. And we'll be back with the bottom of the 4th after this on TampaSpartans.tv.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can. And then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path, we become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive to achieve every goal we aim for because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Ready to start the bottom of the fourth inning, and it's Spartans first base player Kate DeSimone, who had an RBI single in the first, and sends the first pitch foul down the left field line as the sun continues setting here in the Moley Family Stadium on a beautiful Thursday night. Temperature is 86 degrees. And the 0-1 just catches for strike two. And swing and a miss. And DeSimone goes down as out number one in the bottom of the fourth.
That's Platten's second strikeout of the day. As she's still in the circle, coach is still instilling her trust in her pitcher to try to hold this lead.
Ballmer sends that one to shallow right field and caught for out number two. The second base player, Kelly McLaughlin, all the way over for that put out. Brings us back around to the top of the UT order. And left fielder Lauren Fantone. They thought that LF stood for left fielder, but it stands for Lauren Fantone. And she walked to start off the game and then flew out to right in the same inning. Behind 0-1 in the count here in the bottom of the fourth. Drops down a bunt and will not get there in time as the Spartans are retired quickly in the bottom half of the fourth inning. So through four complete, UT continues to hold the 5-0 lead. More softball on the way here on TampaSpartans.tv.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Back live at the Nemoli Family Stadium. Top of the fifth inning. And it's really, as logical as it may sound, it really is that bottom of the first inning by Tampa that has made all the difference, because the rest of this game, ever since then, both teams very much settled down. And you see that on the scoreboard. Zeros all over the place and really fast innings that we're seeing. And the Panthers certainly regret that bottom of the first when nothing went their way.
Well, they're trying to make up for it. You see that the coach still has her starting pitcher in hope that they will come back and make a comeback before, the Tampa Spartans can even get a mercy rule by the fifth inning. So we'll see how things go here.
And this is the designated player, Miranda Schwartz.
I don't want to speculate on too many things, but I've seen numerous batters who have gone and faced against Mariah Gearhouse. And when it's 1-2, 2-2, or just two strikes facing, they swing effortlessly, knowing that they've been fooled by the all-speed pitch. I would like to see a little bit more resilience, a little bit more patience by the Panthers in the at-bats, because it doesn't seem like they're really trying right now.
We're at the number 9 hitter in the Panthers order, Kelly McLaughlin, the second base player. She's behind in the count 0-1. And that is the 56th pitch for Mariah Galehouse. And we're in the top of the 5th inning with 1 out. And here comes the 0-2 to McLaughlin. Bouncer. And over to first in time. 2 down.
Go wait for Weininger to hold her ground, set her foot down on the dirt, to wait for that chopper, because if she would have moved too much in, it could have potentially went over her, because knowing her height, the ball would have been over. So good job by Weininger, who is actually playing deep shallow now. Staying at 5-1, yes, Bruce, yes. But we see the infield now playing very, very shallow to close out this inning. Wasting no time here, Bruce. They want to get things done efficiently.
This is Ella Niles, the left fielder. And 1-1 to Niles, who is in her 3rd plate appearance. Ground out back in the 1st and then reached on an error in the 3rd. Showing bunt. That one goes back to the screen. Galehouse hoping to get strikeout number 5. And ready with the 1-2 to Ella Niles. To Russo, to DeSimone, and that is 3 outs for Florida Tech in the top of the 5th. No runs, no hits, no Spartan errors, and no Panthers runners left. We will go to the bottom of the 5th. The Spartans continue to hold that 5-0 lead. And we'll be back with more on TampaSpartans.tv.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Lily Keister scheduled to hit to lead off the bottom of the 5th. However, we're going to get a pinch hitter as Alyssa Carfora will come in place of Keister. Carfora has seen limited action this season. This is just her 8th game of the season. And in fact, just 6 at-bats in 2023. And the 0-1 on the way to her, outside for ball 1.
Alyssa Carfora, the 5'8" junior out of Middletown, New Jersey. Getting more action here as the season progresses.
Behind in the count 1-2. Carfora with a quick glance down to her coach, Leslie Cantor, at third base. Here comes the 1-2. And Carfora gets underneath it, and she'll stay alive as it falls foul. And it's interesting, Brandon, that a situation like this, your team is comfortably in the lead 5-0, and you think there's no pressure. It's the late stages of the game, and yet for Carfora, I have seen limited action this year. I'm putting all kinds of pressure on myself. I want to come through, and she swings and misses, and unfortunately goes down with the strikeout.
But what was your point, Bruce? What was your point?
Well, that she's putting pressure on herself in a game situation where there really is no pressure. Your team's already up 5-0. You're in the second half of the game, and she's putting the pressure on herself.
You're saying that she's trying to prove herself, yeah.
Exactly,
yeah.
Exactly. Or at least make herself feel good that I got in the game and I got on base. And it's kind of overthinking the situation.
Yeah.
And that brings up Mariah Galehouse. 1 for 2 in this game at the plate. Bounces that one to short. And over to first for the routine 6-3. And out number 2. Brings us to the cleanup hitter, Cameron Weininger. Allison Platten trying to finish things off here. Get her team back to the plate. And now the 1-0 to Weininger. And that's outside for ball 2. Here comes the 2-0, and up high for ball 3. Cameron Weininger looking down to third. I think everybody here knows that she's going to be swinging.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't need to check with Leslie Cantor on that one. And no, looks at it for strike 1.
Yeah, it just hit that inside pocket. We do have a slanted angle. But yes, it did hit that inside pocket on there. So it was a good location by Planton.
And now the 3-1 and fouled down the left field line. And over towards the Spartans bullpen. So the count full now for Cameron Weininger. And there's ball 4. So the Spartans get a runner aboard. And that'll bring up Alexa Russo, Spartans' third base player, or to the point that Brandon made before, Spartans' third base player for this game. We do see her playing second an awful lot. She walked in the first inning and then flew out to center field in the third. 0-1 to Russo, who has teammate Cameron Weininger over at first base. And you see how catcher Jolie Miracle trying to frame that one in such a way as to influence the home plate umpire, who says, "I'll call these myself without your help." It's 1-1. And Russo sends that one foul on the first base side. Spartans are on a 5-game winning streak, trying to make it 6. And that one, a dribbler, and they will get the out to close out the bottom of the 5th inning. And so the Spartans continue to hold that 5-0 lead that they built in the bottom of the 1st. And we'll be back with the top of the 6th after this on TampaSpartans.tv. Ready to start the top of the 6th inning as time is not on Florida Tech's side. UT hoping that they are just 6 outs away from their 6th consecutive victory. And leading things off in the top of the 6th is shortstop Lana Pollock. And the 1-0 to her, and that's strike 1. Mariah Gelhaus, quote unquote, only has 4 strikeouts, but she doesn't rely on strikeouts.
Mm-hmm. It's her infield that she relies on, which they've been doing so good. Not just this game, but the course of the season. Multiple shifts that Lester Cantor has implemented in, multiple substitutions, and they've all worked in her favor. Whether it's Feldman at the circle or Gelhaus, they're going to get the job done.
2-1. Pollock chops that one to Balmer at short, over to first, and not going to be able to get Pollock out there as you saw DeSimone come up off the bag. And good speed at the same time by Elena Pollock. And so the Panthers with the runner aboard and only 1 out in the top of the 6th. That'll bring up Cheyenne Nelson, the center fielder. And DeSimone fields it, but no one there to cover. And so the Panthers with runners on first and second. And a little bit of a defensive miscue by UT.
I think it should have been Gelhaus getting that one. DeSimone, even though it was in her direction, she has an obligation to cover first. And that was the quickest solution, but they just couldn't get on the same page with that one.
So as a result, we will see the catcher, Jolie Miracle, the cleanup hitter for Florida Tech. And the 0-1 on the way to her. And looked like she thought about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Held off, and as a result, count goes to 1-1. One and two. Miracle, this is the best opportunity that Florida Tech has had in the game. Runners on first and second, and
their best opportunity was that hit, that
Balmer.
Ooh.
And wow, second time this game that we've seen her do that.
Another 6-3 double play by Stephanie Balmer. Definitely is executing well. Completely erased the 2 errors that she had in the first and second inning away from her memory. She's moved on.
And for Florida Tech, the good news is they still end up with a runner at third, but all of a sudden 2 outs. And there's a swing and a miss.
Yeah, I was going to say about that play in the past couple of innings where Lily Keister dove and missed the ball, and then they eventually got into third, and they got the runner out at third. This is the best opportunity that they have now because they have a runner at third to reel her in for the first run.
The batter is third base player Michaela Lewin. She finds herself behind 0-2 in the count. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. The clock ticking on Florida Tech. They trail by 5-0. All of the Spartan offense came in the bottom of the first, at least in terms of producing those runs. As you see, Lewin stay alive there with ball 1. Bounced in the dirt, and the runner's going to score. And Florida Tech will take it any way they can. They finally get on the scoreboard. It's 5-1.
It was good they got on the scoreboard, but I didn't see any hustle at all from Galehouse or Chevalier to get the ball, to get some urgency going. A wild pitch is an instant instinctual thing to do, just to hustle and get the ball in as quickly as possible. But you did not see it there.
And they got the run in just in time because Lewin goes down as the 5th strikeout victim of the game for Mariah Galehouse. And so in the top of the 6th, the Panthers finally get on the scoreboard. It's 5-1 UT. We'll be back with the bottom of the 6th coming up on TampaSpartans.tv.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Pace is just slowed down.
Back live here and ready to start the bottom of the 6th. And Brandon, you have to feel for Allison Platten because other than that first inning, she's pitched a really great game, and she's going to turn around and look at that scoreboard and see those 5 runs in the bottom of the first and is going to get down on herself. But I'm taking my hat off to her because she really settled down after that.
Yeah, and even if you don't even follow the game, if you guys are just joining us, all you need to do is just look at the scoreboard, 0-0-0-0-0. But we see that those 5 runs with the first inning. So you can see that she definitely rectified the issue, and she's continuing to do so. And this is why the coach has let her still stay in the circle.
I was just going to say, you've pointed out several times that the coach has shown confidence in her and has not even come out to visit her in the pitching circle as though she was entertaining thoughts of taking her out. So you hit the nail on the head, and the confidence that they've shown in Platten.
And you can see that confidence transcend into the infield as now they're showing more personality, showing more vibrancy, and more execution, more importantly, in the infield to get the first out.
Now that was Avery Perkins, the first out of the inning for UT, and normally we would next see Lexi Chevalier, but it looks like we're getting a pinch hitter, and in fact it's going to be Caroline Watson who's going to come in to hit in the number 7 slot for UT.
Caroline Watson is getting her 15th at bat. She's batting 214. On base percentage is 267 with a slugging percentage of 357.
And she looks at the first pitch for a ball. Caroline Watson, a senior from up in Orlando. And looks at ball 2. So Leslie Cantor giving a couple players an opportunity to come off the bench. Alyssa Carfora Now Caroline Watson.
And it's also good because they get to save them for the doubleheader that they have to endure tomorrow.
Caroline Watson, strike one there. Still ahead in the count, though, 2-1. And that one's up high for ball 3. And Brandon, another observation that you made earlier on that you were spot on with, Allison Platten still taking nothing away, but wow, her pitch count up over 90 now. And Watson smacks that one to left field, and it is caught.
I don't think that ball, they say the ball was caught, but it looked like the ball did ground. Leslie Cantor is definitely a little bit frustrated on that one, but we have to go with the umpire's judgment and resume with the game. That was Ella Niles on the play, but that was a good effort from her to get the ball. So they're going to resume it, keep it in play, and it's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th.
And the number 8 hitter, Kate DeSimone, first base player, chops it foul, the first pitch she sees. She had an RBI single back in the first and then struck out looking in the 4th. Steph Ballmer waiting optimistically in the on-deck circle. And here's the 0-1, and DeSimone pops that one foul over on the first base side. Kate DeSimone, I believe, thankful to as a product, a result of the COVID year, I think they call it. Only a sophomore. I feel like she's been around the Spartans program longer than that, but probably got caught up in the mix of those extra eligibility.
Yeah, a lot of players were granted that COVID redshirt year, and they were granted another year of eligibility.
The 1-2 to DeSimone to short, and over to first in plenty of time for out number 3. We are through 6 complete. Is this going to be the last chance for Florida Tech? We will find out when we come back with the top of the 7th right here on TampaSpartans.tv. Top of the 7th inning, and it's now or never for the Florida Tech Panthers. Trailing 5-1. They actually have 6 hits to the Spartans' 5.
That is so ironic, Bruce. It's an interesting point to point out there. 6 hits compared to 5, but all 5 hits have led for runs for the Spartans, so you can just tell that they've been more lucky or more convenient in their opportunities.
This is Ella Gibson, the Panthers' right fielder, and she does have one of the team's 6 hits. Struck out in the 2nd and singled in the 4th, and the 1-1 smashes it right to DeSimone, and that's out number 1 for Florida Tech. And Ogbedewo, the number 7 hitter in the lineup, come to the plate. She, too, has a hit in this game. And holds off on that one, but it's strike one. Mariah Galehouse has only thrown 78 pitches, and we talked in the top of this inning, in the last at-bat, technically it was the bottom of the sixth, that Allison Patton was north of 90. So Galehouse has been very efficient this game with her pitches. Of course, that count for Patton is also inflated because of the Spartans hitting around in the bottom of the first.
Mm-hmm.
0-2 the count. And bounces off of Agbadewu's foot. And so the 0-2, I will say once again, to Ogbadewu. Right to Balmer at short, and over to DeSimone at first in plenty of time for out number 2. And so the Panthers will hang their hopes on Miranda Schwartz. And check that, we're going to get a pinch hitter here as Chloe French is going to come in to hit for Miranda Schwartz. So instead of the freshman Schwartz, they're going to bring in the senior Chloe French. She's from up in DeLand. First pitch to French, swung on, popped up, and DeSimone under it, catches it for out number 3 and the ball game. No runs, no hits, no Spartan errors, and no Panthers runners left on base. And it is a complete game shutout win for Mariah Galehouse.
Well, yeah, it was definitely a quick one. And even though they did concede one run off that wild pitch, the game went by fluidly. The Spartans had little to none, no errors. Stephanie Balmer, yes, she did concede 2 errors, but she definitely made up for it in the end. I wouldn't say there's a man of a match for this, but I would say that Stephanie Balmer, honorable mention. I would say Lexi Chevalier, A.V. Perkins especially in that first inning, they contributed for multiple runs. But yes, nevertheless, the Spartans had a great outing. Even though they weren't able to score more, they held the lead, and that's what it counts. Pitching counts the most.
And for UT, the winning streak goes to 6 games, and their overall won-loss record improves to an amazing 27-2, while the Panthers fall to 20-20 on the season. And they won't have too much time to think about this loss because the two teams go at it in a doubleheader tomorrow starting at 2 o'clock. So a chance for Florida Tech to flip the script right away.
Exactly, and that's in the mentality that the coach is instilling into the players right now as a circle behind there in right field.
So my thanks to Brandon Davis. I'm Bruce Wozniak, thanking you for watching, and hope to see you back here tomorrow at